In Kalispell, it is cow manure, and it'll be good for our garden.
It's just not gonna fit.
From Montana. We are the Mullet family. This is our cat. His name is Tiger. And I'm so glad you're joining us. It's just a beautiful, clear day, but I wish it was raining. We need rain. In our last video, you saw Marvin preparing the soil. He spent weeks preparing the soil for removing the rocks. We just had an abundance of rocks, and he got most all of that cleared, and then he seeded it in, and we spent a couple days putting the straw. This is hay. This is some old hay that we were able to get, and we covered the whole lawn. And the reason we put hay on is it helps with the moisture. Today I'm going to be making cabbage rolls. When I was young, before I got married, that was one of the things I used to love making, is cabbage rolls. This is my kitchen, and this is where I spend a lot of my time, and I'm just about ready to start with my cabbage rolls. I've got my cup of coffee here, but it needs one thing, and that is a little bit of cream. Or half and half. Cabbage rolls is a lot of fun to make, and I've got my elk here. Now, elk and venison can be very dry for cabbage rolls, so if you have beef, that would work really great too. But I have elk and venison in abundance, so that's what I'm using. And you can use non-instant rice, but it may not turn out as well. I like to use instant rice, so it gets done faster. And I got my celery, my cabbage, which is essential, and my onion and parsley. But before I start on my cabbage rolls, which I'm hoping to get done for lunch today, is I need to get my window washed, because if you can see, you might not be able to see, but that window has a lot of water spots and water stains. And if I look out, it just bothers me, so I'm going to wash it first. My paper towels. Now that my window is clean, it's time to start with my cabbage rolls. First thing I'm going to do is prepare the meat. This smells just heavenly. Let that get tender. Now I don't want to overcook it. The next thing I am going to put in is some brown sugar. A little bit of sweetener in this makes it taste so good. Brown sugar gives it that caramel flavor. This looks like brown sugar, but it is a recipe I used from a lady that I cook a lot out of her cookbook. Her name is Glenda Gruff. Cooking with sugar is something I try not to do. So I found this great brown sugar sweetener substitute recipe from Glenda Gruff in her cookbook called It's All About Sourdough. I will have that link in the description if you would like to check it out. Just about perfect. When you cook your cabbage for cabbage rolls, you want to make absolutely sure that you don't overcook the cabbage. Otherwise, it just falls apart. But this one worked just fine. It is time to stuff my cabbage. Just take some of your meat. You can take the stem out. I do just because sometimes it's hard to chew. And I wrap my cabbage leaf around this meat. And if you want to secure it with a toothpick, you can. My cabbage rolls are finally done. Now I'm going to taste them. I actually tasted them just a little bit ago and they're pretty good. Just remember, when using elk and venison, it's very dry and it tends to have a more gamey taste. But we've been using our own elk and venison for years, so I'm used to the taste. But if you have beef, definitely use beef. Or even pork, if you like pork. This is elk. And I have to say, it is very good. Now, here's a toothpick. If you make cabbage rolls, I like to eat it with sour cream, or even some salsa. It's very good. Right now, I'm going to take you outside. Marvin is working on the trusses on our barn. So I'm going to take you outside and let him give you a tour of what he's doing. But first, let me eat some more of this. It's a hot one today, and we need rain. Just look at our grass here. It's not going to grow with this kind of heat. Let's see what Marvin's doing. I'm going to turn the camera around. Good old Spud. That's what Marvin's doing.
As you can see, this is some of the work we've been doing, and you can see what the shape is going to be. This is the main section in the bottom where my product is going to go. That's going to be insulated. The lean-to on that side is going to be the barn for the animals, the goat, the chickens, etc. The loft, I'm not sure what that's going to be long term. We might finish that out like a man cave or like a one-bedroom guest cabin or whatever. The side over here is going to be open for like kayaks, bicycles, skid steer, four-wheeler, etc. Kind of cold storage. And if you come over here, this is the garden area. First things first, we got to make sure we can lock the gate so nothing can get in. Kind of a joke. I ended up taking out one of the posts. I had like an inch to spare backing in with the dump bed, so I figured I'll just pull this post out until I get all the compost in here. And you can see the line here. This is what I hauled in yesterday. That's cow manure that's been composted. I got to go all the way to Kalispell to get that. That's kind of what's been going on. We've got a fair amount done on the garden. These posts I cut out of the firewood stack, took them over to Uncle Simon's mill and milled them. I treated the bottom, soaked them for a while to get them waterproof. And then if you come over here, I went and drilled a hole on an angle, and I'll keep putting the product in there to waterproof it. Hopefully those posts won't rot off too fast. That's what's been going on. Hopefully next time we'll have some plants in the garden.
Well. It's a hot day today. And we are on our way to a little creek that is very close to our property. And the kids want to take a swim. It might not even be deep enough to swim, but at least it can cool off. So that'll be fun. What did you find, Manuel? I found a rock.
Yeah, really cool rock.
Emmanuel loves to collect rocks, right? Let's get a closer look. Yep, just an old rock, but you like rocks, right?
Yeah, you can have this. This piece? Yeah.
Emmanuel is always collecting rocks wherever we go, and he's found some pretty unique ones too. It's amazing what you find if you keep your eyes open.
I'm going to take some of these rocks home and cut them.
This is just a beautiful rocky creek here in Libby. Such a refreshing after the heat that we had today. And the boys had so much fun. I don't know what Marvin's doing. He's collecting all these rocks. What are you going to do with them, Marvin?
I'll take them home and cut them. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us. We're back to the comments again. We haven't been posting as regularly as normal. We've been pretty busy. Been working out of town once in a while also. And yes, the yard was quite a project. Unfortunately, I got it in as soon as I could. I was getting stuck pulling stumps, and then as soon as all the stumps were cleared, we had that horrendously big job getting all the rocks and debris and stuff cleared out, getting that cleared up. And by the time we got the seed in, we had supposedly like 4 days of rain that we were going to get, and we got one good shower. It hasn't rained in 2 weeks. I don't even know if we're going to get a yard this spring. If I do see a stretch of weather coming for a week or so, I don't know if I'm going to have to reseed, but we haven't even had enough rain to even germinate the seed. It's getting pretty dusty out there. We did get all the posts in for the garden. I got 1 load of compost. Again, with work, I'm not even sure how much of a garden we're gonna get in. And the location where we're at, we're up closer to the mountains than we were. Geographically, we're located in a spot where there's a couple of big drainages, and the way the winds usually are, westerly winds, we're on the east side of the mountains. It seems to be colder here. We had 2 nights this past week, and this is the first week in May, second week in May. We had 2 nights this past week that it did not freeze. It's like every morning we go out and there's frost on the ground. Getting towards the middle of May here. So we may have to resort to planting stuff that, like carrots, potatoes.
Joanna Hampton, you wrote, I really enjoy your channel. I think you all are very sweet and real people, just as you show yourselves awesome channel. Thanks, Joanne.
Yeah, thank you so much. Shirley Harvey, I love how you are going around the trees. It'll be a beautiful yard. I do love trees. I think I left more trees than maybe what most people would have. Unfortunately, some of them got scuffed up a little bit in the process of going around them, picking up the rocks, the rock rake like 3 or 4 times by the time we got that done. Again, hopefully it'll start raining where we can have a green yard, grass starts growing, because looks like fall around here. Brown, golden brown, even though it is spring.
Pam Boone, you wrote, hi Mullet family, so good to see y'all. Wow, what awesome teamwork. Big job, but it's gonna be so beautiful. We know this because we know how perfectionist you are, Marvin. That's a good thing in most cases, though. God bless each and every one of you. P.S. Good looking food too, Mary. Thanks, Pam.
Well, being a perfectionist and putting a lawn in a place like this, I had to calculate at this day it's going to be done, and whatever we get done is going to be good enough. We could have spent another week picking up all the little rocks. I'm guessing I'll probably rent a roller, a heavy duty roller to roll it at some point, kind of level it out.
Leona Stutzman, you wrote, wow, that was a lot of hard work. We had clay soil when we did our lawn, but nothing like you dealt with. Hope the green grass will seem well worth your work. Enjoy watching your videos. God bless your family. Lavina Swarry, you're quite hardy folk. Blessings. Thanks, Lavina.
You know, some people would have just left it, not taking as many trees out, but it was almost claustrophobic in here. We had this little clearing in here. We couldn't really see anything. Like, it was just trees everywhere. So I had an option. Do I just cut the stumps off even with the ground and let the natural vegetation kind of come up? Or do I clear off all the trees and seed grass? You know, we don't have enough water in our well to even irrigate. We can irrigate a couple hours and then the well runs dry and we got to let it fill back up.
Well, thank you guys for watching this episode of Mullet Family. If you like this content, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We love hearing from you. But before you go, we're going to take you out, and Marvin's going to show you the hen that had little chicks.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do right now.
So amazing to watch a hen with her little chicks. She's teaching them to scratch and pick. I had fresh straw in that box and she went and scratched it all out. And those little chicks will follow her whatever she's doing, whatever she's scratching or pecking. Like right now she's got something and man, they're trying to grab a hold of it. Teaching them life skills. So we're coming to the end of this video. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.